Picture it. July 2019, Dumbo House, Soho houses in New York City, Brooklyn, New York.
They come up to me, they're like, how do you think a black woman would feel about XYZ idea? And I'm like, I don't have the answer.
I agree. You definitely shouldn't be like a barometer for...
Filter it. Magic and Her Melanin kicked off their first installment of Future of Creatives, celebrating the underrepresented creative in fashion and in media. Posted this first Amor Code is basically giving you a snapshot of how there could be people in many dope positions, placements associated with great brands, and they still deal with imposter syndrome. They still... I'm in the matrix, I'm in the matrix, I'm in the matrix, I'm in the matrix.
BuzzFeed in Los Angeles. And I think when you talk about fatigue and you talk about things being heavy, right? Like, I didn't even claim that title for the longest time because I felt like I didn't deserve it. For whatever reason. Like, it wasn't mine, but that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? And I think that in all of these spaces, we are having to be the voice. And in some cases, we're also having to be a martyr in the process of moving the needle. You know what I'm saying? But then also not getting paid for it. But then also having to head up the ERG and, you know what I'm saying, do recruiting and travel on the weekends and then get back to work and do my job. You know what I'm saying?
Hello, thank you for coming back for more Amor. I'm Avielle Amor, and I'm magnificent. And obviously you are too, because you're watching, you're here with me. I had the pleasure, and I'm so thankful to be invited into a room with so many other dope creatives. This event was about, hold up, let me pull up my notes, because sis took notes, because I really want you guys to know what's going on out here. And if you all want to know my credentials and what I've been through throughout my influencing journey, stay tuned. That video will be out probably 2 videos after this, but I do have like a quick synopsis of like that for the series, the Amor Code series introduction. So check that video out too. Anywho, so Saturday, July 13th, I was invited to a Future of Creatives event at the Dumbo Soho houses, amongst many other creatives in the room. It was a very, it was a dope event, for lack of better terms. Like, everybody there had that like Solange type vibe, if that makes any sense. But I'm just going to read the caption here for Magic and Her Melanin, whom put on the entity that put on this event. Magic of Melanin kicked off Future of Creatives in New York this past weekend in collaboration with Soho House. And we are so proud of the turnout in the community of incredible diverse creatives that held gravity in the room. The first installment of Future of Creatives celebrated the underrepresented creative in fashion and in media. So to be invited in that room, you had to be in one of the two factions, and it was an intimate, because there's a lot of creatives in New York. Everyone is a creative, everyone has something going on. So to be in this room and to be personally invited was amazing. It was an honor within itself. And then I saw the people that was in the room, I was like, oh my gosh. But anyways, so the people that they had on the panel, the individuals, the creatives that they had on the panel, starting with Miles Lofton. He is a photographer, and more specifically, let's get into Miles Lofton. Let's do our little Googles here. Miles Lofton photography. Now, the reason why I want to be very specific and give people their proper credit is because I feel like there's a lack of urgency. Like it's not taken as seriously because it's like digital, but digital is our world. Digital needs to be taken seriously, and its just due needs to be paid. So let's give Miles his just due of how dope he is to be asked to be on this panel. So Miles Lofton is a 20-year-old freelance photographer and a junior studying photography at Parsons School of Design. His work spans portraiture and fashion photography. Okay. Oh, he has a diary. I'm looking at his site. Oh, she was in my video. So I'm assuming Miles did some photography for the video that I was in. Whew, child. Oh, the Claremont twins, Blair Imani. He shot some dope people. Okay, so another individual that was on the panel. Trying to be as quick as possible so we can get into this imposter syndrome. We had Christina Rodolfo. She is the beauty director at Women's Health, and she was formerly at LUSA. So she was on the panel. And then we have Dorian Russell. He does social media for Barney's Men, The Bronze Bombshell. She was previously at Vogue magazine for Black fashion, but she is a future curator at New York University. Hopefully I'm reading that correctly. The Bronze Bombshell. Shelby Ivy Christie. This first Amor Code is basically giving you a snapshot of how there could be people in many dope positions, placements associated with great brands, and they still deal with imposter syndrome. They still deal with self-doubt. And in this room, there were so many dope creatives there, and I was just honored to be in that room. And like those creatives that go through that, I go through it too. So in that room, we got to discuss how we get through it, what we do to keep going, and some of the challenges that we face. The people that were on the panel has worked with Vogue, Elle, Barney's. The gamut goes on, it goes on and on, but the list goes on. But they're in these positions that people are aiming, like this is a part of their own goals, like Vogue. And they're at these places and they're still dealing with imposter syndrome of not feeling like they are enough. So it's a thing that happens in the creative realm, because I feel like it happens because you don't have to, when you are a creative, people come to you for your creativity. There's no set guideline, and boxes make me itch. It probably makes a lot of other creatives itch. So with a career that isn't in the creative realm, you know what targets you have to hit. You know what is expected of you, and you know what you have to deliver. You can have someone, depending on what realm what you do, especially fashion, media, people come to you because of your eye and because of your thoughts and because of how you think, right? They come to you for your vision, but at the same time, they want your vision to be theirs. So you could deliver something to them and it not be their vision. So then you put so much into your work, you question your capability. You question if you're valid. And just because there's a disagreement doesn't mean that you're not valid. It just means that, you have to come together again to brainstorm. So I feel like it all comes down to your self-esteem and your self-talk and what you're how you're talking to yourself. So in this room, before I get into the 5 steps, not 5 steps, but some things that I do to deal with imposter syndrome, which I still go through, but I'm getting through it. I'm getting a lot better, hence why I'm doing videos right now, because for a long time I wasn't doing videos for that very reason, not feeling like my videos would be good enough. It has to be perfect. I don't fit in with the current YouTube culture. It really stopped me from coming back here. Like once I reached the 100K mark on YouTube, I was like, well, then now I gotta really step it up. But then really, the reason why I got there is because I was being who I was. Now, and since stepping away, I've learned so much. And I know how I want to tackle it, because within that too is being creative. You want to be authentic, and you really want to be really who you are. I don't, myself personally, I can't do a new product every day, every week. And it felt like the algorithm was becoming a job, because you have to, it's kind of like what I said earlier, you know what is expected of you and you know what you have to deliver. So I have to clock in at a certain amount of time for the algorithm in order to be appeased to keep my job. And I'm like, well, damn, if I don't clock in, I get fired. But what if I don't want to clock in? And this is supposed to be a hobby. This is supposed to be something that I like to do. Like, why I'm clocking in for the algorithm? This is not supposed to be a job. This feels like a job. That's why I don't be uploading like that. But I digress. This is about imposter syndrome. Where am I? So the people that were in the room, oh my gosh, amazing people. We had African Creature. She does hair for Solange. Her name's Susie. Hi, my name is Susie, and Gucci think I love him. That sucker think I'm loyal, but I'm with all the hustlers. I be with all the, you know what? But Susie was in the room. She's dope. Nene was in the room. She's hilarious. She's a ween sister of mine. Another ween sister of mine is the Blonde Misfit. She was in the room. She works with BuzzFeed. Mr. Badbeard, he filmed the video that I was in for Siobhan, who put on this amazing event. It was just so many dope creatives in the room. I'll have all of their names listed here, and you should definitely check them out. If you're into looking for photographers, or you're looking for, I don't know, it's what you're looking for. But how I deal with imposter syndrome. One, you have to realize you are dealing with imposter syndrome. It wasn't until I was in that room, to be honest with you, that I was able to put a name with what it is that I was going through. Oh my gosh. So since starting YouTube, I always had this complex of I'm not as great as the other YouTubers because they post regularly, their lighting is like this, they're doing that, they're at every event. Mind you, I be at these events too, but I like going to the events to meet other people. And I'll get a photo every now and again, but it's not my mission to go to the event to take a picture there. So then, I guess I don't get points for that. I don't know. This is how I would rationalize it in my head. Not rationalize it, this is how I explained it to myself, or this is what I believed in my head. And then I don't have I don't want to vlog everything I do. I don't want to have a camera in my hand to show you guys where you guys are not, where you're not at. And in a way, I feel like that's kind of rubbing it in people's faces. Look at, we're here. And when I show you guys in this Amor Code series of different experiences that I got to experience, I'm making sure that I'm going to offer you all something that you can take away from it. Whether it is how I got there, how I networked my way to that position, or something I took away from the event, something I learned, a learning experience, something that if you aspire to be an influencer, or you aspire to be in a certain industry, particularly beauty, fashion, or media, you can take away, or music too, you can learn something and take away from that, and how to position yourself for your career. That's like what I want to do here with the Amor Code. So hashtag the Amor Code on Twitter or on Instagram or whatever. You know, just email me. I need to make an email for that, but contact me with questions or like topics that you would like for me to, I don't know, explain or give my philosophy about, so I can help you. So first thing, I went on a complete tangent, but knowing and identifying you have imposter syndrome. So some signs that for me, how I realized that I had imposter syndrome is one, never feeling like I was good enough to be in the positions that I was in. Like I would be in some rooms, sis. I would be sitting at some tables with some powerful people, okay? Powerful people, okay? And I would be sitting there. I want to put a, oh my God, I would be sitting there and I would be like, wow, this person is asking me what we should do next. Or I'm like, we're kikiing, we're about to make this deal. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so thankful, you know, for these experiences. But like, I would be like, why am I here? Like, what do they see in me? And these people would see me and I couldn't even see myself. I see me now, sis, though. Where my glasses at? But you know, that was one way that I realized I had the imposter syndrome. Another thing is not feeling like I was worthy or I deserved some of the accolades. Like I would just shun them, or I wouldn't even like be in the moment. You know, you would you hear stories of like from celebrities that are in the mix. They're on the go. Lights, action, Hollywood, you know? And then once everything like dwindles and dies down, not dying down as in their career, but when things slow down, they reflect and then they're like, wow, the time went so fast. I didn't even take time to enjoy the moments, you know? So the different accolades or like mentions that I would get, I would be like, I'm looking for the next one. And then when I would look at other people say that, I would never realize, like, I would like, I would never do that. But when you're on the go so much, you never realize that, like, you don't really look up and you're just always like searching for that next fix. And mind you, I'm not even where I know I'm going to be. So I'm glad I had like this breakthrough of realizing, okay, let's reframe things. Where do I want to be at in the frame? Where I want to be at in this frame, sis. Do I want to be over here or do I want to be over there? Do I want to be like inside the frame, outside the frame? Like where, you know, because you could be inside the frame and you want everything to be about you. Look at me. But it's so much more than that. Like I am starting an organization to help young kids about something that I'm passionate about and something that I feel like should be in schools. And I'm really happy about that. I'll share more about that later. But I want to be like the owner of the frame. I want to own the frame, and I want to get in the frame when I want to get in the frame, and then I want to hold the frame. This is going to be a beautiful frame. And I want to put that frame into other people, put other people into that frame and give them that frame and be able to facilitate like me giving them the frame, if that makes any sense. It makes perfect sense to me. So, yeah. All right. So, one, I realized I didn't feel worthy, didn't deserve it. And then how I deal with it. Again, I guess this means I need to stop. How I deal with imposter syndrome. It's all about self-talk. Self-talk, your mental diet, what you hear and who you surround yourself with, your environmental diet. Like everything has to change. Everything. You have to look at yourself every day and say that you are enough. You are capable, you are worthy, you are deserving, and you gotta believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Other people are believing in you, but as soon as you like let yourself get the best of you and they see doubt within you, then that's when it starts to like chip away. So I believe in you, I believe in myself, and I say things to myself to reiterate that belief. And not only say it to myself, I gotta feel it. And feeling it sometimes it can be a little bit difficult. Like, how do you, when you feel a little bit low, when you feel like you don't have the best camera, you don't have the best editing, you don't have the best post, how you feel that? How do you feel like you are enough? How do you feel that belief, that self-belief? Well, what I started doing, I started meditating. And then I started like counting my blessings. I started being thankful for the things that I did achieve, the things that made me feel good. So I had to like hijack old feelings and put that into the present, like, and just feel that, and then associate that with self-belief that I was able to make that happen. I'm able to make other things happen. I'm going to continue to do that. You got to feel that. You got to know that for yourself, because other people are not going to be, they're not, they might want, your mother, somebody in your family may want to give that to you, but it's not until you know it for yourself. So your self-talk, who you have around you, your friends, your family sometimes, and it's so sad, you know, like they could be saying it from a position of love, but it's from fear when they don't encourage your dreams, you know. So I'm not saying like abandon your family, okay? Don't be a mother or a father and just abandon your kids because your kids don't understand your business plan. Don't do that, okay? But the things you can control, put yourself in beautiful environments. And it doesn't have to be the most opulent, luxurious environments, but it has to be a space that you feel that you can thrive in. So maybe that might be nature, maybe that might be a library, maybe that might be, I don't know. You got to find your space. The water. I'm saying spaces that are my spaces. So you might catch me at those spaces. Catch me outside. How about that, huh? Anyhow, that's how I deal with it, my self-talk. That's what it comes down to. You got to tell yourself that you are worthy, you are enough. You got to believe in yourself. And from there, you'll start seeing things change, because that's what you're telling yourself. You're going to start not doing certain things, or not doing certain things and replacing it naturally, because you're going to start seeing that that's not conducive with your self-talk. And you're going to feel the way you feel when you are meditating, or the way you're feeling when you're pumping that great energy to yourself in the mirror in the morning of self-belief. You're going to want to keep that feeling going. So the things that don't make you feel that way are going to naturally fall to the wayside. So, I mean, that's where it first starts. It's your self-talk, feeling your self-talk, believing that self-talk, believing it and feeling it, okay? And then from there, you know, magic begins to happen. It takes time, but you got to stay consistent, and you got to have people that are around you that are going to champion you and give you real advice, you know, from when they went through it, which is why I'm offering an Amor Code group on my Patreon account. And you could sign up. I go live there twice a month, and I'll have the times and everything up there, but it's going to start November 1st. So sign up now so that you're in there, because I'm going to probably close the group off. It's just to see where it's at, but I'm going to cap the group at a certain amount. So sign up. And then during these lives, we can ask one another questions about networking, like what do you do, what self-talk do you do before you go into the room, some networking tips, how you should introduce yourself, how you should carry yourself, the attire you should wear for certain types of events, the meaning of clothing and how you show up, your presence in a room, your diction, your conversations, things of that nature. It's just going to be a great group where we can all brainstorm with each other and excel. So sign up for the Amor Code group. I'm probably going to have a cuter name for that, but I'm just trying to keep it all within the branding. So sign up for that. Yeah. So we can hold each other accountable and then also champion one another. But yeah, my voice is going, so that means I need to go too. Thank you guys for watching this first episode of this series, the Amor Code. And I will see you guys again next week. Bye.